Good morning, everyone. Welcome to an Ageless Energy show. My apologies, I am running behind, but I still wanted to show up for you guys. I didn't want to just cancel, but I suppose these things happen in life. Anyone missing the beginning can watch the replay, I suppose. Got a couple messages from people being like, hey, where are you? Here I am. So we're gonna have a great show. Let's dive in. Today we're talking about, I hear this quite often, is I'm doing everything right. How come I'm not seeing results? And I suppose the truth of the matter is you may not be doing everything right, or at the very least, there's things that you can improve on, and hopefully, I'll shine some light on some of that today. So, if you're not sure who I am, my name is Drew Tadia, founder and CEO of True Form Life. For the past 20 years, I've been working with women 40 plus to help them increase energy, burn body fat, and balance hormones. So, if that's you, you're in the right place, and we are going to dive in and get things rocking here. So, the first thing here is I think we are not quite sure what prevents us from seeing results. So, if I were to just share with you the simplest form of blockers, results blockers would be that, sorry, would be stress in particular. So I've seen this. So with our MAT members, we have our Metabolism Accelerator program. That's where we do our one-on-one coaching. I will see our ladies do incredibly well. And they're doing all the right things. They're following their meal plan. They are doing their exercises, showing up to group coaching calls, doing all the things that we ask. And they are not seeing, they stop seeing results for a certain amount of time. And then I ask them, like, hey, what's going on in their life? And often there's a stressful time in their life that's come up. And what happens is your cortisol levels increase, your body goes into a fight or flight state and just hangs on. It's hanging on to all your body fat. It's hanging on to every ounce of, whether that's mental capacity. This is where we often see energy drop, because a lot of times stress goes to our digestive tract and all your energy is trying to digest food. Like, it's a giant mess. It really is. And like, we've all been there. I recently went through a stressful state, and everything is affected, especially your results. So the more steps that you take to reduce stress on a regular basis, the more your body is stress resistant. Oh, that's a good one. Write that down. But we have to take continual steps to reduce stress in our life. And if we don't, you'll see people, like, I think we've all know people in our life that anything stresses them out. Or one little thing, like there's a huge meltdown, a big explosion, and it's like, that wasn't a big deal. And then you compare someone that maybe they have 100 employees to manage, or maybe they have, they're coaching a whole team of, who knows, their sports team they got 25 kids, and then they got 25 parents that they got to deal with. So you could look at people in different areas of their life that are used to more stress and handle it better. However, I suppose you could find those same types of people that don't handle stress very well and are incredibly miserable. Regardless, if you take steps to reduce your stress on a regular basis, you will be much more stress resistant. You'll be much more prone to be able to get through that stress when it happens more quickly. And then finally, you won't see, like, you might hit a block here and there, that's life, but you'll be able to get past it much easier, and you'll be able to continue to see results instead of someone that, and then, so someone might say, well, I'm not really stressed out, but often we're like, we don't know we're stressed out, or we're always stressed out. So we don't know what it's like to be in a relaxed state of being. And then lastly, sometimes that stress has come from years ago. And we think, well, I'm not really stressed out right now, but you could be dealing with stress from past experiences. So I was going to say past life, but maybe that's a little bit too deep for some people. Let's see who we got in here. Rhonda's in here. Sharon's in here. Cheryl, Sandy, Sandra. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining live. Nice to see names pop up here. And all right, we're gonna carry on here. Maybe I should tag everyone. Do you think that's helpful? or annoying. Okay, that's number one. Number two is under eating and overtraining. We see this across the board. Women in particular don't eat enough. Don't eat enough food. So when we get them eating properly, then they start seeing results. They increase their metabolism. They start burning body fat. It's it's all a cycle. It's like a cyclical cycle. Maybe I think secular means I should just leave that alone. A vicious cycle of like under eating. So we're not getting enough nutrients and our body's not performing optimally. So that's your body's basically saying like you're tired all the time. You're not seeing results, but you're working hard. You have digestion issues, you have energy issues, like it's across the board. And often many of that is solved by getting enough nutrients in your body. And that's probably far more than you think. Because I'll hear from people and I'll say, I have these conversations almost daily, and I'll say, well, what did your food look like? And they're like, oh, I eat pretty well. I eat a couple times a day with a couple snacks. And then they're eating a couple times a day isn't a full meal. It's like an egg and toast. I mean, that's a decent start, but that's not a full meal. You have to balance your full macros. And then they'll have a huge dinner. They'll have a couple snacks in the afternoon, like an apple or a granola bar, and that's it. So you're looking at a 1,000-calorie diet, 1,200 calories. Like that's not going to do it for you. You need some substance. In most cases, women 40 plus need to really focus on protein. So you probably need more protein than you think you do. And then you also need to balance the other macros, in my opinion, so you have full absorption, so you have the energy you're looking for, so your digestion is where it's supposed to go. So under eating is a big one that I see. So you could feel like you're doing everything right, or you could be killing yourself in the gym and you're not getting the results you're hoping for, probably because you're under eating. You could consider overtraining. I don't see this too often, but once in a while I'll come across someone that is working out 6 days a week and it's not a balance. It's like push, push, push. And they don't have time to recover. They're not working different muscle groups. And I'm talking about weekly, like you have like every day you're hitting the same muscle group, or you're doing too much. I see that all the time. Like it's so unfortunate. Like you're burning muscle mass. If you're doing too much cardio, you're doing burning muscle mass. So you might see runners, for example, a lot of them don't do resistance training. So you see them like really skinny, sometimes frail, maybe injury prone, and then they have a number of health issues and they don't know why, because they are a runner and feel like they're healthy, when unfortunately that's not always the case. So let me know if you guys have any questions with that one in particular, but the overtraining is definitely an issue that needs to be addressed. How many times a week are you guys working out right now? Let me know in the comments. And I kind of mentioned this. My other tip here is muscle loss after 40. Like it's the same. There's so much like aging sucks, but I think we can do something about it. But for example, like osteoporosis is a real thing. We all deal with it. And I know like some people, I've been diagnosed with osteoporosis. I'm like, the definition of osteoporosis is the decrease of bone mass as you age. Okay, we all have that. So to me, like it makes more sense of what you're doing about it. It's like, oh, I've been diagnosed with this. And I'm like, okay, what does that mean? Like, what action are you going to take? Someone was like, oh, I'm going to go see the doctor for this. And I'm like, okay, like what's that going to do for you? Because I think I have this. And I'm like, okay, if you have that, then what? Then what? Well, then I'll have a diagnosis. But then what is that going to do for you? Like, I would suggest being proactive with your health and being like, okay, we know osteoporosis, arthritis, how many people have joint pain, but we just use that as a crutch or excuse, like, I'm not able to do that because of this. Well, if you have an idea of what you can do for your next steps to take action towards whatever it is you're trying to achieve, then that's probably, like, I'm talking about muscle loss here in particular, like, okay, like as you, like 40 plus, the older you get, the more muscle mass you're going to lose. But it's like everything across the board. Like, so you should be doing something to prevent that loss of muscle mass, like having enough protein, resistance training, exercises, supplementing properly. Like most of us should know that. So we have to take action. Like I'm just thinking like down the line, like if you have dementia or any type of like brain health, cognitive function type of stuff in your family, that's probably something that you should work towards preventing. I do it anyways because I feel like my brain health is important, and I want my brain to be around for a while. So you can look at Magtin or magnesium threonate. You can look at creatine. There's more research coming about creatine for brain health. We have our C8 MCT oil, which is brain fuel. Like, there's so many things that we can do to prevent our brain health, but people just aren't doing them. I don't know if it's lack of education. I think it's lack of implementation. People get that frozen, I don't know what to do or where to go, but you got to take action in one way or another. Okay, let's move on to what actually works after 40. I kind of went into this a bit, but when we're talking about like a well-balanced protein diet, I would suggest, here's the thing, is like I feel like every fitness person is like protein, protein, protein. And regardless of where you're at, it needs to be emphasized because of we live in a high carbohydrate type of um, society. Like, we have muffins, pancakes, French toast, oatmeal. That's breakfast, right? And then like if you even go to a hotel breakfast, often it's like all of that stuff and like a little bit of protein. For example, sometimes you'll find like beans or sausage or bacon, but that's more rare. You have all these carbohydrate options, and it's probably the same thing in many of your houses. So that's why for me, it's like you have to focus on protein. You have to try a little bit harder with protein in particular to get that in your diet. And then we have a really nice organic collagen. You can supplement that way. You can supplement with a quality protein powder. Like, you can have protein bars. We have a nice recipe for a snack pack. If you don't have high protein snack pack, if you want that recipe, I can send it over. Just comment below. But there's a lot of things that we can do, I guess, to be proactive with our health, especially at this stage of life. And unfortunately, I don't see a lot of people doing it, but I think we feel like we're doing everything right, with air quotes. And there's a lot of things that we can change or do better at. Having this is my last tip here, but a mental mind shift is, I feel like, super important. A lot of times in our behind the scenes in our MAP program, I do a lot of mindset training, and I want to help you guys understand, like, stop trying to fix your body. Like, we're not just looking for quick fixes, but we're looking to fix something. And I don't think we necessarily need to fix something. I think first of all, we want a diagnosis, like, what's wrong with me? And I feel like in most cases, there's nothing wrong with you. I had I had someone, I don't think she'd mention, I mean, mind if I mention her name, but I think I'll just pass on it. She said she was having trouble focusing, and she was doing too many things at once, and she was tired. And then, so she goes to the doctor, and the doctor tried to put her on like a bunch of these meds of like, whether it was ADD or so to help her focus and a couple other things. And I said, there's nothing wrong with you. There's no, and she's seen amazing results in her program. She's super coachable, open mind. And I said, there's nothing wrong with you. Like, all of us have. I have 10 windows open, 10 tabs open on my computer. I've got 2 screens looking at me. Soon, in about 10 minutes, I'm going to have a handful of people messaging me, whether that's about product stuff, employees, like my wife and child. Like, that's life. Like, this, it's the chaotic life that we live in. Unfortunately, I feel like we should all be working towards simplifying our life. But we're looking for someone to tell us there's something wrong with us, and there's not. We just need to take proper steps in the right direction, often with a well-formulated plan, like planning your week in advance, planning your month. What does your day look like? Most of the time, we get up late, flustered, we're rushing around trying to figure out what the best thing to do is. We lack the ability to choose the priorities in our life because no one's really taught us how to do that. It's just a whole mess of nonsense, and we're looking for someone to validate whether it's our health or it could be a number of different things. I'm not going to go down a different road today, but there's nothing wrong with us. We just need to focus. We need to take steps to improve our health. And we can all do that. And I want to hopefully you guys understand that there's hope and there's light at the end of the tunnel. And at any rate, there's people out there that can help. There's programs. I think we do a pretty good job with the members that come into our program and helping them clean up a lot of different things in their lives. And hopefully that's helpful. So to wrap things up, if you guys want to grab any of our supplements, you can grab them at trueformlife.com. And we're always around for support. If you're interested in our MAP program, that's our Metabolism Accelerator program, just shoot us a DM or comment below and we'll reach out. Otherwise, the last little promo that we have is free shipping for Mother's Day weekend. So there's a couple of minimums that I'll post in the private Facebook group. You'll see it on our stories if you haven't already. But that's a little thank you to all the amazing mothers out there. So minimum, I think, is well, there's minimum orders much less than it usually. Usually it's $200 plus is free shipping, and I think we have $50 within Alberta, and then $75 with outside. So that might be a nice little thank you for supporting us. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining, and we'll catch you soon. Bye, everyone.